Hello one all, this is my review of Dr. Stone, Chapter 145, Bar Francois, and I freaking love Ryu. I mean, seriously. He went from a catastrophic loss at poker with Jen on his freaking side to smiling and realizing, that's it, I will open a casino, because I mean, this is a man who's probably never lost a day in his life because he's always the best whatever he does. And I was really not sure how he'd handle, a loss like this. Nope. Turns out not even enough to slow him down. He immediately turns around, opens up a freaking casino, and I just love you, Ryu. I love you for that. Oh, even in the face of defeat, he managed to come out on top. That's just so amazing. Speaking of defeat, Yo lost all the money he had, and Jinro won a whole bunch of money. Which, okay, I mean, I do think Jinro is a sleaze, but Yo's probably worse, I think. I don't know, let me think down below. Who's worse, Yo or Jinro? I'm honestly not sure. But, they're all really happy to have the casino up and running, a little recreation. Improves morale on the entire boat, makes people work harder, makes things a lot easier for everyone. And of course, no ocean liner casino would be complete without Bar Francois. And I'm going to apologize moving forward because I do not know a lot about bars, like at all. I don't drink at all. I just don't. And my palate is so simple, I really could not imagine what any of these drinks actually taste like. And seriously, last night I had milk, rice, peas, and chicken for dinner. And I loved it. I love my food simple and almost tasteless, honestly. So I am certainly not an expert on any of these drinks, what they taste like, or how they'd be, but let me know think down below. Do any of these taste good? Have you ever had anything like these before? I'm very curious to hear about that. But the first thing you need in order to make all those drinks is gum syrup, which seems to require a very, very terrifying recipe. And I'm kind of curious if Senku should be wearing a mask and gloves while he's working with all these toxic, awful, terrifying chemicals. And he puts sulfurina in the drinks and then says that if you drink it, it would melt your teeth. Kind of feel like it'd be bad to inhale it as well. I mean, he's actually boiling it, so yeah, that cannot be good to inhale, I'm just saying. And especially now with the world kind of going insane, the added detail of Senku wearing a mask would be very useful, I think. Very appropriate. Then they add toxic witherite, which I don't even know anything about chemicals, but I know that's not a good thing. I know it has the word toxic in its name, and Senku even has to explain that yes, it is in fact incredibly toxic. This is also apparently how he's making all the sugar this entire time, which is a little worrying because if he got the pH wrong, it basically would have melted them from the inside out. Which is why there's a little warning with a skull saying, "Don't try this at home, you could die! Thanks for the warning!" I definitely was not going to try this at home. Not even sure where I'd get sulfurina or toxic witherites. In fact, I don't want to know where I would get that because I don't want to know what around me is made of that material right now. I really don't. But it all worked out, and Chrome had no issue being the guinea pig, as Senku poured directly on his tongue, and he freaked out about how overwhelmingly sweet it was. Oh, that was funny. And then they made yogurt by just heating up milk. I did not know the process was that simple. I feel like there should be other steps involved in there. I guess it doesn't really look like the yogurt I eat, so maybe there's more processing involved if you want to make it more edible. But I guess since they're just using it to make drinks now, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. And so they mix all the ingredients together, the strained yogurt, the gum syrup, the lemon juice, and then they create Calpico. Which, not gonna lie, I have no freaking clue what Calpico is. I actually had to look this up. I mean, cola, everyone knows what cola is, but Calpico? Here's the definition I found online. Calpico is a Japanese uncarbonated soft drink. The beverage has a light, somewhat milky, and slightly acidic flavor, similar to plain or vanilla-flavored yogurt. So there you go, that's what Calpico is. Not gonna lie, very confused when I first thought, is that an ingredient in soda? What is it? Is it edible? Do you drink it as is? I was very much confused. And then the custom drinks come out. First off is Asuka, and she even has her own little helmet made out of cucumber on top, which is so freaking adorable. And what's more, it's actually has a purpose, because when she puts it in the drink, it turns from apple to watermelon. It is just so absolutely cute. The two-side sunshine, a smile that gleams as brilliantly as the sun, has a scientific reaction with the helmet produced further sparkling charm, which is so true, you know? Soo was already adorable, but once she started getting involved in the scientific team, once she started working with them, she became just so much better, so much more useful, so much more amazing, and really came into her own like that. Next up is Soo Kisses Beverage, and oh, I do love Francois doing all the shaking and moving around like that, and she even has to explain to them, oh no, this doesn't serve any benefit whatsoever, it just looks really cool. Oh, that was hilarious. Yeah, so for Sukasa, a grenadine and tonic, which transforms from red to blue under a black light, just like the silently smoldering flames of Master Sukasa's heart. Which, interesting, okay. That's actually a really cool concept for a drink, one that glows when you put a black light on. I could think a really cool concept for a bar, you know. You can order the drink and there's like black lights on the counters that just make your drink glow when you drink it. That'd be really cool. I'd like to try that. For Kaku, she got a piquant Cinderella, which looks very classy and fancy. I really like that for her. Jen got a spicy cola, which I did not know was a thing. I did not know made people breathe fire. He seems to like it, I think. I mean, his whole reason for portraying Sukasa was just so he could get a cola, so spicy cola certainly seems to fit him. Oh, and I'm just noticing this. And there's always a little part where it says the science consultant was Karari. Now they have a cocktail consultant, Bar Funkline. Interesting. Oh wow! I want to actually have like an interview with the creator, the author, and the artist, and just ask them how the heck this chapter came about. Do they just have like a late night out once, and they're like, hey, these drinks are awesome. We should have drinks in this in the Dr. Stone thing. That'd be awesome. Yeah, everyone can have a custom drink, but we don't know anything about drinks. Bartender, make us custom drinks based off these manga characters we created. Okay. I want to know the history behind this because I think that's a really funny story. As everyone is marveling at the amazing beverages that managed to be created, Ukyo has to wonder if maybe this whole thing was planned out from the beginning. The entire game of poker and all of it was just a big ruse to get everyone on board with the whole quicker voyage to improve morale with the casino and everything. And I don't think that was the case. I mean, Jen's response is, utter nonsense, my dear Ukyo. You're overthinking it, which just screams that he's lying, but he also then says, I was giving it my all and then some in the poker game. It wouldn't have been exciting otherwise. So if anything else, my loss was a bit frustrating, dear Senku. And he's actually thoroughly irked right here that Senku managed to beat him. Senku managed to overcome him. So it might actually be the case that the game was arranged and planned to get everyone on board with the casino, the drinks, and the shorter routes, but the outcome wasn't predestined. They were both fighting with everything they had. They were both trying to give it their all to win, just to make it more realistic, and Senku managed to overcome them. Senku managed to win, even if it wasn't entirely necessary that he did win. I'm honestly not sure what is the case here, but let me think about all that down below. And finally, for Senku, we have the three-layer tea latte, which honestly looks really cool. I've never actually had a beverage that was multi-layered before. I do love the comment. Tricolor, perfect post on social media. I do love that she has to actually be reminded. Social media doesn't exist anymore, nor does the internet, at all. That was just really funny. And of course, Senku has to ask, well, what's the point of having it multi-layered if I end drinking all three anyway? To which she responds, well, if you just mix them together, they'll be combined to form an ever so slightly sweet latte. Oh, she was ahead of Senku every step of the way, and I love it. So with Bar Francois open and all the custom drinks made, they are free to party their way across the Pacific Ocean. Though, of course, Yo still has to question, wait a minute! With all that, we still never got any booze? What the heck? Oh, which is absolutely hilarious. I actually saw some people online argue, oh, they can't have booze in a PG-13 manga. To which others responded, you remember in the first chapter, they made booze by hand. They actually showed you how to make it yourself at home. So, yeah, that's definitely not the reason. Technically they are mostly under 21, though Senku actually argued, if I remember correctly in that chapter, that they were also technically over 3,000 years old. So, that is actually a little bit of shaky ground there. Maybe there's issues in Japan where you can't show minors drinking alcohol or something like that. or maybe in order to fit certain standards to keep it being released where it is, they can't allow alcohol to be shown. Definitely seems curious they didn't have any alcohol in this entire chapter. I mean, obviously Suka wouldn't have any alcohol in her drink, even though drunk Suka would be so adorable. But I could certainly see Kinro and Tsukasa handling their drinks fairly well. In fact, seeing them get a little tipsy would be really fun as well. It's just a little weird. The whole bar chapter had a single sip of booze. But honestly, this whole chapter was just so bizarre and insane and crazy. It was literally them just mixing drinks the whole way. I mean, I was certainly a little hesitant a few chapters back during a poke game, like, okay, so how long are they actually going to spend on the open sea before they get to America? And it just seems like a whole mini arc of them doing crazy things on the ocean to occupy their time while they're waiting to get to America. I assume it to be like a montage of them, struggling in the open sea, fighting waves, killer whales, krakens, etc., etc. Maybe a little side panel of Senku saying krakens aren't real or something like that. That'd be funny. But no, that's not seem to be the case. They're really taking their time with this arc, letting things progress naturally, and I like that. But of course, on the other hand, I really want to see them get to America. I want to see if there's anything left over there, if America handled things differently, how they're holding out. I mean, we have a fairly large volcano in Yellowstone. That could have certainly erupted in the last 3,000 years and caused quite a bit of trouble. So maybe we're mostly wiped out already. Maybe there's not much land left to work with, or maybe volcanic ash made the soil better. I'm not sure. I'd certainly be curious to see what happens with all that. I mean, don't forget though, we still have 4 other cities to go to after we get to America. I'm gonna assume the boat trips to the other places won't be quite as long as this one was. More of a montage than anything else, or maybe they'll find different things to do on the boat trip there. Maybe they'll have other goals they need to accomplish, or they'll have unlocked new knowledge or new things that let them speculate on what's going on, what's happening more. I'm really not sure, but let me think about all this down below. What'd you think of drinks? Would you want to try any of them? How many more chapters do you think they're going to spend in the open water? I mean, it says 40 more days to the U.S. That could be 40 more chapters, 4 more chapters, 1 more chapter. I'm just really not sure, but let me think it's all down below. Be sure to like, subscribe to this video. Until then,
peace!